everyone. Welcome to RDU on Stage. I'm Lauren Van Hemert, and I am so excited to be sitting with cast and some of the cast and some of the creatives behind the Wiz Clubhouse Musical. So welcome, everyone. I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves in a second. But if you all, if you guys have any questions or comments, yes, everyone go ahead and mute your mic until you're ready to chat. Thank you, Dee. I can tell you've done this before. If you have any questions or comments as we're going through, please put them in the chat and we will get to them. And let me move this overlay so we can see Dee Maurice. I'm going to go around as I'm seeing you on screen and have you introduce yourselves and tell us who you play in this production. So Dee, I am going to start with you.
Hello, I'm Dee Spencer, and I play the role of the narrator in this wonderful production of The Wiz.
And John, you're next.
John Files Merchant. I am also one of the narrators as well as the Royal Security Guard.
Awesome. And Christina.
Hi, I'm a Porter, and I'm Poppy and a citizen.
And Sharita is off camera, so yeah. Oh, wait, she's back. Okay, Sharita, you're on. You are next. Introduce yourself. Tell us what your role or your part is in this.
Yeah, so I have a double role. I first was the casting director that helped. I was one of the people to help bring these amazing people that you see in front of you to the stage. And now I switched hats and I am the creative director. So all of the graphics and the flyers and the PTRs, all of that you'll see, it came from me.
Welcome. And all right, I'm going to try to get it right because I keep wanting to call you Zara, which is my daughter's name, but Yazra, right?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay.
You got it perfect. I'm Yazra, and I'm cast A as Dorothy. These beautiful people let me sing with them every night.
I'm so excited and even more excited because you graduated from Central, which is right up the street from me. So go Eagles. And Jovan, you're next. Tell us who you are and who you play.
Yes, I'm Jovan Bender. I play Tin Man.
And Brandon.
Hello, my name is Brandon Smith, and I play the Scarecrow with these lovely people.
Wonderful. And Dee Maurice?
Yes, greetings and salutations. My name is Dee Maurice, and I play the Lion.
Oh, I'm so excited. And I see there's all these wonderful people that I didn't know were joining us. Jay, tell us who you are.
Hi, hello, thank you for having me. Thank you for having all of us. My name is Jay Valeriani, Joshua Valeriani, and I play Glinda the Good Witch of the South in The Wiz. I am so grateful and really excited, so yeah.
Well, I am so grateful you are all here. I am going to say that I was, I attended I'm friends with a few of the people who were in the Color Purple revival. I interviewed, actually my last live interview was Antoine L. Smith, who was in the Color Purple revival. And he was supposed to do a production here of Memphis. So I was watching the Color Purple revival reunion on Clubhouse, and Dr. Lori was there, and she spoke a little bit, and she was talking about this the Wiz Clubhouse, and I became a little obsessed. So that's why I wanted to do this interview, to find out what is going on. This is very exciting to me. And so let's start with the Wiz Broadway musical, which was so iconic for so many reasons. It's such a significant show. It's such a significant piece of Broadway history. It opened in 1975, 45 years ago. It was one of the first successful, large-scale, big Broadway musicals featuring an all-Black cast. There was Pearlie, there was Raisin, and then there was the Wiz. It was the start of so many careers: Stephanie Mills, Andre DeShields, and it was choreographed by the legendary George Faison. So for all of you, what does the Wiz, either the theatrical production or the movie, how is that significant for all of you? And I'll just throw it out to whoever wants to jump in and answer.
I can answer. I don't mind speaking first on it. The original production, to me, I think The Wiz is a story that was made as a love letter to Black people. Honestly, when you think of Joffrey Holder, who was also involved in the preliminary sketches, and that the fact that they went to Baltimore, which is one of those places that people still tried to treat as if it was forgotten by time. Baltimore was a serious place when they did that first production of The Wiz there, and they picked those local people, and they did such an amazing production as a love letter to us. And then you fast forward and you have the production of The Wiz with Diana Ross and Kenneth DeShields from the original cast, and Michael Jackson, and that iconic image of ourselves. But at the end of the day, you really just have a story of a young woman who is trying to find herself, and she is placed in a situation where she has to discover how strong she is. And how many of us have been in that position, even right now with the pandemic and dealing with what's going on with COVID-19, and some of us having to redesign our lives around it, or even change professions as a result. We're in here because of the idea of us being rolled around a space and then dropped down in a place that almost seems fictional. And the Wiz reminds us that despite the fact that we may feel unsure, the heart that we're looking for, the courage that we're looking for, we are able to do amazing things. And so that's what I get from it. That it's a love letter to people who feel lost and are trying to find their space in the world.
I would be remiss if we did not mention my character's creator, I guess, in a sense, Ted Ross, this amazing actor, gentleman, and thespian who really, truly embraced the role and has taught me so much, even over the years with his other endeavors, even in the movie Arthur, just so many things that he's done, and so I want to give and pay homage to him, because he was definitely an inspiration for me as I try to, step in his footsteps, I guess, with this particular production. I'm very excited that I could kind of convey something of that, of what he brought to their role.
I'm gonna say, for me, it's all about the crafting of our childhood, right? Most of us, when we, in 1975, 1978, when the movie version of The Wiz came out with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson and the crew, it was our childhood. This is a culture classic in the respect of people were celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving and just being around each other and watching movies like The Wiz and sitting down at a time where technology wasn't so popular and social media didn't suck up so much of our time. Only thing we had time to do was actually spend quality time with one another. And so for that generation of people, which is our generation, this is what we grew up with. This is our culture. This is how we're represented. This is how we understand life as it is, as you know, then as children, now as adults, and being able to take such a culture classic and being able to translate it in probably one of the most difficult forms, which is audio, right? Audio makes you go back to having to close your eyes and put yourself in the position of spirit and God and really be able to tune into your imagination. And that's something, because of how the world works now, is that something that we're not able to do. And so just having the opportunity to have like a double-edged sword and being able to come back to the table and revisit our childhood also in a classic way that's unforgettable, because we literally have to close our eyes and tune in and create the story in our mind as it's being told to us over audio. And I think that in itself is something so innately special. And also because it's coming from people who love not only what they do, but who they are, but they also love theater, right? They also love the ability and the challenge to be able to take all that they know within themselves and all of that they learn in their craft, from school, from education, from the world, from their personal experiences, grief, happiness, love, inspiration, anxiety, and put all of that into one, to bring that to a stage, to an audience that's ready to go to a place and be transported just for maybe an hour and a half outside of the world of pandemics and sickness and death and craziness, right? So that's what it means to me, is being able to capture a moment in time where we're supposed to be sad and crying and just away from each other, to bring that one moment and for an hour and a half to bring us back together to a place where we felt safe, loved, at home, free, and happy. That's what it means to me.
Yes. I would love to tag along with that as well. Sharita mentioned, it being a part of her childhood, but again, I, of course, am one of the younger people in the cast. So I grew up kind of watching different things, but it was my parents' responsibility to kind of take on that and be like, hey, watch this. I think you'll like it. It's needed for, culture. And I agree. I didn't really know what it meant back then, but watching it now, I have so much more of a connection, and that's what The Wiz means to me. And stepping into a role as iconic as the Scarecrow from the legend Michael Jackson, it is so humbling, personally. So yeah, I think it's a level of connection. That's what The Wiz means to me, and what does that mean for now? Connecting to back then. So yeah, I love that. I love that that difference between everyone in the cast, and we can all relate to everything different in this cast.
I Brandon, were you even alive when this movie came out?
No, I was born in 1996.
So. I was going to say, you look like a baby. Okay. Who else has anything they want to add about the significance of the film or the show, the theater piece?
I think one of The Wiz was one of the first musicals that I got to witness as a kid through a movie element, television element, and then I did this program directly out of high school called The Young Americans. And we have a lot of alumni that did Young Americans that were on Broadway, like people that choreographed for Kinky Boots, and have the original church lady, one of the original church ladies in The Color Purple. Her name is slipping my mind, and I'm so angry. But she was on the original cast of The Wiz on Broadway for the "Can You Feel It?" And she did the ad-libbing at the end. And I just remembered this when I just logged on. So if I can, did someone give me this
Is it
one?
Tata Vega?
No, it's she
Margaret
is
Avery.
not Margaret Avery. Denise or Denise or Dennis, something Dennis. Carol Dennis.
Carol Dennis.
Carol Dennis. Carol Dennis. She was in the original Wiz Broadway production, and she was one of the original church ladies on Color Purple when they first came to Broadway. And she's a young American alumni. So then going all the way back to that, and then it being one of the first musicals that I witnessed through television, and then me playing Glinda when I remember first seeing Lena Horne on television singing If You Believe, and goosebumps going literally just up through my whole body. That laughter and that playfulness as like almost like Glinda coming back as an elder to speak to Dorothy is almost like it just makes you just like become a kid again, no matter how old you are, and like lean into your elder to be like, I really can do all things. Like it's all inside of me. Like all of those messages for me is just another. It's almost like a confirmation, affirmation. Who talk about a love letter to Black folks. That type of like grounding. I think the has such a grounding element for Black culture, where it kind of just reminds us again to believe in ourselves, and that there's just so much inside of us when I believe that a society would like to convince Black culture otherwise. I think the Wiz is a reminder of the dimensions of Blackness. And I am so grateful to be a part of telling the retelling of it through this new audio theater craze. So, yeah.
I know for me, I feel like it takes me back to an earlier time when I did get to see this on television. And just like Jay just said, Lena Horne, that scene with Lena Horne was the one that resonated the most with me. I just loved her voice. I love hearing her. I love the whole everything about the Wiz. I felt like it was empowerment. I feel like today it even reminds us of empowerment, and to see a show that displayed so many strong Black characters in so many iconic roles that people can still relate to today. So I just love the opportunity to be able to be a part of this and to bring this to Clubhouse. And as Sharita said, during a time when we were locked down, locked in, and now it's like I felt like, can you feel a brand new day? That's how I feel about the Wiz coming to Clubhouse, coming to the masses, and even transcending it over to another platform. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it or not. Another platform here. I'm gonna leave that to Sharita to announce, but it's exciting, and I think this is a part of history for us to be able to be doing this, and so now we are connected to such an iconic film, an iconic Broadway production, by being able to now bring it to audio for the first time. So it's amazing.
I would like to add to that is that when we are in rehearsals and we're going through and you're singing the songs, it every single time it transports you. And so the thing is, these are not only professionals, but these are also every last one of them are avid Wiz lovers. And so each and every character, we have two full casts, and each and every cast is dedicated to the tactile nature of every single line, every single emotion, every way a song is sung. And so the thing is, it's not just about, oh, you're doing the Wiz. No, this cast is so dedicated to making sure that the experience, the audio experience that you're going to get, that it's so densely impactful that you won't forget it. It's going to be that movie that you want to rewind over and over again because you missed that one part and you want to go back to it again and again. I am excited. I am enthused because how long has it been, right, since we've seen real theater and we could actually feel it and touch it and grasp it? And this is what this cast is going to do for you. And they're going to take you on a journey. You are going to have popcorn. You are going to clutch your pearls. You might have to go to the bathroom. Who knows what's going to happen? But I tell everyone that I talk to, people say, what are you guys working on? The thing is just like, it's so magical that you have to show up in order to experience it. It's going to be beautiful.
Let's be honest. People are going to take us in the bathroom with.
Yeah.
How about
no
that?
bathroom break.
How about that? The miracle of Clubhouse. Let me take this with
goodness. I'm hoping not. Maurice, I'm hoping people don't take you into the bathroom. Let's keep it out of the bathroom.
The player's going to get a little funky. You know, you might need to
Christina, are you in both casts?
Oh, I am. I'm actually like I'm here, but I'm there. So I'm just waiting because they're tweaking their mics and everything now. So I'm like, let me get a little of this, and I'm back, and I'm eavesdropping on what they're doing. And I'm back. Yes.
Multitasking.
And Christina, I do want to ask you kind of the significance of the Wiz for you, because I know you're going to have to get to rehearsal and the mic check, and I know Ian is kind of in the waiting room and he's waiting to come in and give us his 2 cents or 3 cents worth of.
He's gonna give you 5 cents. I promise you.
I hope so. So Christina, what does it mean to you to be in this production in both casts?
Oh, it's amazing. I feel like growing up with the Wiz, we watched it. We actually watched the Wiz and the Wizard of Oz, and then in theater in school, we did it for a senior play. It's just iconic for. You can go out into the world as much as you want. There's no place like home. You can meet different people, love them, have a great time with them, share moments with them. But when you come home, there's just simply no place like home. So that's what it means to me. Coming back home, there's no place like home. Just quick and to the point.
Amen to that. So for people who don't know what Clubhouse is, because there are a few who may not know, Clubhouse is an invitation-only audio app that launched just about a year ago. So it's fairly new technology, only audio. Think of Zoom, where people can talk to each other without the video. And we've seen kind of the advent of other musicals on different platforms. We had Ratatouille on TikTok. We've got this current craze of Bridgerton the musical on TikTok. The first Clubhouse musical was The Lion King, which kind of took everybody by surprise. Is this the new normal? Is this the new frontier for producing theater?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I feel like this has opened doors of opportunity and opportunities and has changed the landscape on so many levels for what we can achieve. I feel like Clubhouse and these type of productions are giving people an opportunity, artists an opportunity to be seen who would never have been seen before by casting directors, producers, artists around the world. And I'm excited because it has opened up an opportunity where we're getting to be seen, where maybe someone wouldn't give us a chance. And look at all this talent. Look at all this talent that's being showcased. But not only that, doing something magical that a lot of the producers and casting directors of these Clubhouse shows is doing is that they're not just limiting it to one cast. They're spreading out the opportunity so that you can get to see multiple talents. And it's not a competition. It's a showcase of excellence is what it is.
Mm.
And I'm excited about that.
And even more particularly, I will say, because I keep having this conversation with friends of mine that do, regional theater and Broadway and stuff. The thing that's so special about Clubhouse is it's giving people, particularly Black individuals that are incredibly talented but just don't have the resources to get into these equity rooms, to get into these certain auditions, to be seen, to be given the chances to be on these stages. Like literally, and there's no shade, but a lot of people that got on Broadway, some of these breaks is just because they got into the room. They just were able to get into the room. And for the reason why it was such a phenomenon, because a lot of people with the Dreamgirls auditions, a lot of people were frustrated and rolling their eyes. But the reason why it was so popular, and there was a whole list of people that wanted to be seen, and everybody was so excited and was just so about it, was because everybody and their mama, wherever they are, Black cultures everywhere, like in the suburbs, in the hood, everybody loves Dreamgirls. Everybody wants to be a part of a production of Dreamgirls. So when this Clubhouse craze is happening, and I know where I'm from, I had friends that were like, "Are you on Clubhouse? Are you gonna audition for Dreamgirls?" And the light that was in their eyes and the joy that was in their that was coming out of their voice was the same joy when I got to first audition for my first equity show out in California. Like it was that same energy. So if that's happening through Clubhouse, and I think it's very important that this wave not only is a wave, but it is something that can be permanent, to finally give underrepresented, marginalized individuals that have the talent a platform to really shine. And that's what Clubhouse is doing. It's amazing. From Dreamgirls to In the Heights to all these things, there's people that they open their mouth to sing or to do this voiceover character, and then you look them up and they have no resume, but they're brilliant. No one has given them the chance. And that's what stuff like the Wiz that this is doing. I think it's phenomenal. I'm 10 toes behind it. So
Josh, may I call you Josh? Because I have a
yes,
Josh in my house. That's my son's name.
of
So,
course.
okay. Um, Josh, what you're speaking to is so important to me, because one thing that's exciting to me about this moment, this historic moment that we're living in, is that we are seeing this since the murder of George Floyd. We are seeing this rising up in the We See You white American theater movement. And I wonder, because we saw all the solidarity statements. We know it's hashtag trendy to bring everyone to the table while
Performative ally
theaters are closed. But when the theaters reopen, I hope we're gonna walk the walk and talk the talk.
Yes.
However, do you guys think that these opening up these platforms, are we seeing a cultural shift in the types of stories we're going to begin to see on stage and the people who get to tell those stories?
I believe so. I'm already part of 2 other productions. I know people on this platform in this room are part of other productions that are built off of Clubhouse and other virtual streaming platforms, where Black creators, again, who never get the chance to tell their stories, are being able to cast people, and given there's grants and stuff people are putting out for people like that to have resources to, again, some of these stories that are being produced on Broadway or in these regional things, it's filled and it's backed by a lot. The creative teams are all people that are not of color that were just given resources. So now that the tables have turned and people are looking for us, yes, to your question, yes, that is happening. Clubhouse is a part of that. Like again, I'm part of original work that's being backed by some people now that in before the pandemic they wouldn't have backed them. And as Sharita, the task even for here, the people that are sponsoring us, there's just a yes to what you're saying. Yes, y'all talk about it. Whatever.
And Lauren, we want to say thank you for giving us a platform as well to share what we're doing with the world, giving us this opportunity to expose people, let people know that, hey, we're out here, we're doing this. So we want to thank you too.
Well, thank you for that, Dee. But I do think it's really important to share stories, and I think representation on stage is so important. As an arts journalist, the stories that are most interesting to me are the shows and the plays that don't tell the same story. I want to step in someone else's shoes and understand other people's lived experiences, not just my own. So those are the stories that are most interesting to me. That's what I want to see more of. And so I hope going forward we are seeing a cultural shift. How does it's really interesting. A friend of mine is an accessibility advocate, and she doesn't love Clubhouse because she says it's a little too exclusive for her. But how do these? I think, Josh, you spoke to the inclusivity of this and the accessibility of this. How do these platforms make theater more accessible to people?
Well, I think it's a leveling of a playing field because these new conversations are existing because of Clubhouse. I mean, recently some folks got together and they made their own production, and it was a little off color called Throat Baby, but it was done and it was really creative and it was amazing. And if it hadn't been for someone who had a room in Clubhouse, who started a discussion about creating cinema and creating theater productions, new theater, it would never have happened. And it turned out to be something that was really enjoyable to experience. I mean, that's not only happening with theater, it's happening with music. Executives are coming in and looking for new talent. People are coming in, they're having collaborations with folks who are all the way in England. From England to Ghana, I've worked with artists that I've met on Clubhouse that I would never have met anywhere else. So on one hand, where folks feel like it's a little exclusive and they feel like it's leaving some people out, which initially actually kept me almost from joining. Once I got there, because it's a situation where things are vetted, you also find a lot of your like partnership there, which from those partnerships come these creativities. So I mean, I on one hand, yeah, folks are being left out, but they do plan to open it up at some point to everybody. But this experiment, this social experiment, has been fruitful because of the creativity that it's birthed.
Leveling of the playing field. A lot of the people that, and as Michelle, a lot of people that are kind of per se not liking or being upset by it is because they usually have access. They usually have access. For the first time, they don't. The people that deserve, that have been waiting in the wings for years, are finally getting the opportunities that they deserve. There were, and this is, as I knock on wood and say it, not about me. I am one of the first non-binary individual, Black queer individuals that I know of to play Glinda in The Wiz. And I got done with I got done with the program, the Young Americans, and all my teachers. God bless they soul. They were so sweet, taught me a lot, but they gave me the tools of, you will only be the Billy Porters, the Tituses, the Alex Newells of the world before this new wave that happened before quarantine hit. Where before Kinky Boots, before Once on This Island was happening, you weren't seeing us. You weren't seeing queer Black individuals giving parts in theaters where we were able to tell our story in a way that really was human, and not just a quick thing. So, and then we weren't being cast in roles where people were just looking at our talent, or looking at how we looked or how we, whatever of that nature. But because of all this wave, I pray that this seed with that I that casting directors and directors for future things would see this idea and concept, and that the people that I know that are immensely talented, that are non-binary and trans individuals, would finally be given the space and the chance to really show their talent in roles like these. So
When you hear Jay as Glinda the Good Witch, if your eyes remain dry and they do not leak, you do not have a heart at all. Ian as our Eveline is no joke. Like you are literally transported to the Wiz by each and every character who is here. And my other Dorothy, Alana, who is a tremendous talent, who is an amazing talent, who is a housewife and a mother who walked away from theater when she got married and is now back and killing it in the Wiz and considering a full career in music because of being in the room with all this talent that she wouldn't have had a chance to be with. She would have been overlooked when she was more than talented and more than able. Everyday people on Clubhouse are able to stand up and be counted as talents. And that's the big deal here. Non-binary, trans, coming to theater, leaving theater, always loved it, it's been your hobby, whatever it is, this is leveling the playing field so that people who have always been perfecting their craft but unseen can have an opportunity, like Jay said. And it's about time for that. I know I'm tired of seeing all the same faces and sometimes even hearing all the same voices. And Talia and Sharita really just came through with their vision and making this a global cast, a cast that represents everybody. This really is the people's Wiz.
I think y'all even spoke to the fact that a lot of us have even changed careers or, have reinvented ourselves because of the pandemic, because of what's been going on. Yasser and I personally have toured for many, many, many years on the road, and all of that was shut down for us. So we kind of had to, do a reset and figure out exactly, what path we want to take. And Clubhouse just opened up those opportunities for us that I haven't done a production in years. And for me to be able to go on a whim and see that this audition was happening and say, okay, I guess I'll try out and see. And it comes to this, I'm just very, very grateful again for the opportunity and grateful to work with an amazing friend that I've known for so many years. And this is really our first time actually working together. So
you know I love you, Demo.
You know I love you back, y'all. Come on now. We down like 4 flats.
10 toes down, my brother. 10 toes.
Come on now. We go back like babies in Similac. We can keep this going. We can keep this going.
That's it. That's it. Yeah,
Well, and I do want to talk a minute, Jay, about the gender bending casting of this, because this really contemporizes this piece. And it's so, and like I said, I think representation is so important. I get very excited. There's a young artist, Ashton Edwards, in the Seattle area with the Pacific Northwest Ballet, and they are reimagining the way we think about ballerinas. So I love this idea of gender bending casting. Why was that important? Sharita, I want to ask you, why was it important to cast this in this very inclusive way?
First of all, and I'll put this out there, is that naturally my twin sister and I were the underdogs. And so when we came together and we started to talk about the cast, we really made a clear twin pact with each other that we would not discriminate against. We said to ourselves that, listen, we want to feel the character. And so when in casting, we said, okay, if we feel the character, we're going to have our eyes are completely closed to names, ages, sizes, colors. We don't want to see any of that. If this person, through their acting or their singing or a combination of both, transport us to the Wiz, they got the part. So it's just, it didn't matter to us. And so we said we're the underdogs anyway. just like Yasser said, we like, hey, this is the people's production. So why not take the risk? Why not go to a place that is not familiar? I mean, it will be easy for us to put Ian as like, Tin Man, right? It would be easy for us to put, Jay as, Scarecrow, right? That's easy. But how, in the wholeness of who they are as human beings and the talent and the gift that they have, where can they transport me? And I will say both Ian and Jay, and I hope that if they can probably give just a little bit of a couple lines about, of what they deliver on the show. Maybe, I don't know if they decide to do that, but when they executed, when they opened their mouth, when they spoke, when they sing, we were like, oh, it was so hard in the cutting room. It was so much talent in the room. It was so incredibly difficult for us to make the decision. And when it all came down to it, the faces that you see right now, there was no doubt in our heart, our mind, and our soul. And we were ready, like, to take the backlash for it. We didn't care because we knew that it didn't matter. Skin color didn't matter, age didn't matter, gender didn't matter. Only thing that mattered is what they made us feel. And the only thing I can say is this, is that when you come to the stage and when you come and hear them, you'll know why. just remember my words. You will understand why. Because you're going to lose yourself. You are going to lose yourself. Don't put on headphones and close your eyes because you're going to be gone. Like, have you ever been in a time where you were in a spiritual moment or you were in love and you were so deeply embedded into that moment that you didn't even know your cousin's name? Like you were just gone.
Yes.
For an hour and a half, they're going to take your whole life and take you to Oz. They're going to take you there.
I would like to say I'll give one thing and then I have to go because I'm actually doing something on another project right now. But and I would love to connect with you actually, Lauren, as well. So
Yes.
we'll email. But and I hope Ian can speak to his part afterwards as well. It gives me such honor, and I bless God for this, because Glenda came and pushed me in a way where I started applying for things out in the LA. I got booked for other things because I got Glenda. Not even because people knew I had Glenda, but because I worked on Glenda and Glenda pushed me to another level. And I bless God for that. Now, Glenda came to me as Dorothy reincarnated. Very Sunday in the Park with George, where Doc comes back and speaks to George. You know that feeling, that where something coming back to you and healing you almost. And for Glenda to come back to come to me as actually Dorothy reincarnated, or Dorothy past those years, to come back to you, or something to come back and say, you have everything you need. Why are you worrying? You have to look inside yourself and actually take the step forward, because everything that you want, you desire, everything that you see for yourself is literally in your hands. Your healing is in your hands. The joy that you think that you don't have and you want is in your hands. All those things. And it's funny because it pushed me. And this personal, but I really, this excuse my language, I don't give a fuck. This is who I am. I live in Orange County, California. Black non-binary individual. It's hard for me to find housing. It's hard for me to find people that I feel safe around. We are non-binary, trans Black individuals are dying at a high rate because we're just subjected to more violence, right? So I'm in this transition. I'm trying to find a place. And each week, multiple times in the week, I'm singing if I believe in myself. If you believe in yourself, I'm singing it. And in the way of that, it actually was healing me and prepping me to meet the person that I would end up housing with, which is actually a queer woman of color that's also in Orange County that we share the same. I didn't even think, if I had been too down on myself and actually not singing to Glinda and actually being around these people, I would have missed out and I would have been too depressed to even reach out and find all this stuff. So Glinda actually blessed me. It's an all around blessing. I love y'all all down. Thank you for having me so much. The Wiz is going to be lit. It's going to be lit. I'm telling you, we're making history. And Lauren, please, if you can get my email from Sharita, or we'll connect. I'd love to connect with you.
Yes, I would love to connect. I feel like we're looking at a young Billy Porter right now, so I'm very excited about this.
That means the world. Thank you so much. That means the world. That means the world. But yes, be blessed, y'all. I will see y'all soon.
All right, Jay.
Ian, I want you to jump in. You play Evelyn. I know you also have to run. See, you're all so busy. You're all a bunch of creatives. So talk to me about stepping into this gender bending role and the significance of the Wiz for you. Ian, can you hear me? I can't hear you though. Are you on mute? I'm going to unmute you. Wait, why can't I hear you? I can't hear you. I am not hearing you.
So Ian, go down to the bottom and check your settings, check your mic settings. Click on the mic at the bottom, cam mic, and then check your settings to see which
click
mic
on, yeah, cam mic and then audio, and you'll be able to see your audio. Yeah, we all need Dee, we all need you as our producer. We're all needing some Dee as a producer.
I use this platform, so I know how it works. So
yes. So Ian, I don't know why I can't.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah.
Listen here. You know what? I am sick of technical difficulties and all of this stuff. We're going to get this right, and we're going to get back on stage and do this thing live. How y'all doing, family?
And you play the Wicked Witch of the West. You should be able to wave your magic wand and make this work.
You know what? Magic don't always work in some airways. I'm like my sister Etta Pearl. I ain't touching that magic. You know, but nevertheless, it's a pleasure to be here on this platform with my sisters and brothers and sharing this experience. We have not only made history by our executive producers and executive team choosing us to be in these roles, but also we're making history on being the first audio adaptation cast on a platform. So it's an honor and a privilege for you to have us today. I am going to be very brief. I don't even consider this a gender bender role because I get to be me. I get to be me. You know,
I mean, bigger than life. Bigger than life.
That is not. Listen, go on. Oh, as I was saying, I get to be me, and I relate so much to Eveline that I don't even think my castmates know how much. Just on yesterday, I celebrated the life of my mother that's been dead for 6 years. And I found myself when we were in rehearsal yesterday, they mentioned it. And because I suffer so much still from grief after 6 years, I found myself embodying that grief and taking on that pain and letting it out, because I was a bitch when my mama died. I ain't gonna even lie. I cussed out everybody. I said, I ain't messing with you. I ain't messing with you. Cussed out family. Broke up some relationships, but now we're mending all that again. That's the only difference between Eveline and I, is that we're sharing grief, but we're dealing with it a different way. And I am one of those people now that I live by the motto, per se. No bad news. I live in a utopia. I live in peace. You know, I don't allow myself to engage in anything that compromises my character, my dignity, my integrity. And I stand on all truth. I am happy to be in this role. I couldn't have asked for anything better. You know, I like Sharita said, I could have been a mean old lion. Or I could have been slide some more to me. Or I could have been the Scarecrow. I could have been all y'all roles.
Wait a minute.
But I chose.
I don't know about that, but
You know. I'm gonna just put that right there. We're gonna talk about it later in private, but
yeah,
I
let's do
chose.
that.
I chose Eveline because my whole life I've always wanted to show all of me. By trade, I am a classically trained singer, and I've had some great opportunities in that. I sing in 6 languages, and I've always been a very fluid and a very liberal person. So it don't bother me. They say, "Oh, you playing a female role?" No, I'm playing an evil witch. And a witch don't have no gender, boo. So get with it.
And he scares the crap out of me every rehearsal.
Every time.
I swear it
Legitimately.
does.
Shut up! It's my turn.
Yeah, I love this so much. What I love about this is there's a local actor here in North Carolina in Raleigh named Brian, and I interviewed Brian recently, and I said, I really want you to play Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors. Do you want to play Seymour? And he said, oh no, I want to play all the parts, just a one-man production. So I feel like we're going to need, Ian's going to just play all the roles. He's taking them all over.
If anybody could do it, it's him.
The only one I can't touch is Dorothy. I can't touch that.
I know you got me, Dorothy, and you. I ain't even.
I can't. No, I can't touch that magic. I can't touch that magic. That magic is something else, But like I said, I'm grateful to have this opportunity. I could not have asked for a better one. I could not have asked for better leads to be on a platform with me. I'm telling you, and I ain't saying it because they're here. I say it all the time, like. We the baddest. I told them in rehearsal the other day, we ain't got no competition from other casts. We have a competition between cast B. That's the competition.
Yeah.
And being that we are team A, you'll see it. Come see us. That's the only thing I can say.
Come see it. Well, you all are selling it. I think if people are watching this broadcast and they can feel the amount of joy coming off of all of you, everybody's going to want to watch this yes. Because the joy and the happiness that you're all bringing is just radiating. I want to talk about, as artists, talk to me about this collaborative and creative process, because you all are everywhere. It's a bi-coastal cast. So talk to me about the creative process and the challenges that come with that, with working in a platform on a technology that's really in its infancy.
Yeah, so that's such a good question. And just on the crew side of it, the cast that we have they have for the last, I guess, 2.5, 3 months have been increasingly flexible to the point where a good majority of them have stepped up and even helped as assistants on sound and tech and just getting together, helping with soundtracks, staying up late nights, just doing music. Let me reiterate, this is a volunteer production. Okay. So that means that right now, like, no one's getting paid. No, every single person you see on this platform has not only extended themselves to learn scripts, learn music, do music, record, and then also be able to extend themselves to their fellow teammate and castmates to see, just to tend to them to see what they need. And then while also carrying on regular lives, having regular jobs and all of that. I don't understand how we were so incredibly blessed to have a cast of this caliber, because we're very demanding, right? And so even down to the last minute when we call them and say, hey, we know we gave you a day of rest today, but let's get on the call and let's do this and let's do that. But on the technology side, I think our biggest challenge has been audio. Like, the thing is, you would think that because you are on Clubhouse, you wouldn't have an audio problem, but that has been our biggest problem, has been the audio. And so, in just making sure that you can hear me and I can hear you and you can hear my music and the music is coming in clear and I'm not on mute when I'm talking. Like, these are, we call these not first world problems, but Clubhouse problems. And we do that all also in the vein of making sure that there is theatrical excellence with all of that. And so it has been a challenge. I won't lie to you, right? So I won't lie to you. It has been incredibly difficult at times. We started off with a full crew, and along the way, we've lost a lot of our crew, you know? So the thing is, what happens when you lose crew, other people have to take up the slack and make sure things, you know, balls don't get dropped. And so so if one thing went down, another thing came up. And so this is what I talk about. Like, our cast members have said, we're not going to let you drop. We're not going to let you fall. We're all in this together. And I have seen them do some amazing things. And I know, you know, I don't know if this was an opportunity to give them their flowers, but freaking thank you. Thank you. You didn't have to do it, but you did. And you're still doing it. I don't know why sometimes. I go in my prayer closet and I pray to God and I'm like, please don't let them leave us, because it is so amazingly great. And we put them under so much pressure, but they rise to the occasion every single time. And they still deliver. They still show up. They still give it their all. And so we're working through the audio, we're working through making sure that they have everything they need, but they have taken this production is taking on a life of its own. We are the underdog, and I just say, come and see what the underdog does. They're great, amazing. Okay, I'm done.
Sharita, we are your mirror, though. We are the mirror of your excellence.
Right. Thank you.
Take your energy. We are following you in your sister's line. You know, we locked up with you. I'm sorry, D. You go ahead. But I just want to tell you that, like, the love is mutual because we feel it from you being excellent. We would be a mirror of that, but your excellence makes us want to keep doing the work.
Yes.
And you know, we are invested. We are in. This is as much our production as it is your production, as it is as it is the world's production. We are completely invested. So, you know, it'll frustrate us when we don't have a great rehearsal. It'll excite us when we do have great, you know, sound checks or whatever it is. You know, we're all invested. So I want you to know that we're not leaving you hanging, because this is our baby too. You know?
I would also like to say to everyone in the cast, thank y'all for always having a positive attitude. You know, like, there's never been a moment of negativity ever in this cast. And I think, Lauren, that's what you actually spoke to, is the positivity that emits from this cast. It is always going. It never ends. And we can laugh together. You know, during the passing of, oh, my Lord, Cicely.
Oh, Cicely Tyson, yeah.
Right. When that happened, you know, we all came together. That was probably the only moment when we kind of, you know, shed a tear or two, but everything besides then has been all positivity, and I want to speak to that and thank y'all. And yeah, I'm so blessed.
It's such you know, I think some of the silver linings that come out of this pandemic are the art that's coming out of it. I kind of joked when the pandemic first started and theaters shut down that we were reinventing the wheel, but it's pretty exciting to see the resiliency of artists and how these new platforms are emerging. This is also the International Day of the Girl, and it's Women's History Month. And we should say that at least it's my understanding that some of the cause that this production supports is called Black Girl Magic, which was created to create a racially just and more equitable entertainment industry for Black and Brown women. Can one of you speak to what the connection is with Black Girl Magic?
So it's Black Theater Girl Magic, and yes, the organization strongly supports brown and Black women and women of color, so that they, just like what Jay was talking about, that those that don't have an opportunity to get through the doors of major theater productions or film productions, that they are the conduit to make sure that that happens. And being the fact that my twin sister and I are not female, of course, but we're also advocates of theater, we felt it right, and just that the 100% of our proceeds, the night of the event, will go to them in our cast. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we have a link tree, and if anyone on your that's watching want to support our cast, these beautiful people you see here, and also Black Theater Girl Magic, we have a link tree, and it's linktree / the Wiz CH, and you can see all of their information and support them. You know, because these are your future thespians. These are the people who you will see several years from now. You know, be on major stages and be in major motion pictures and be on major Broadway stages. So support them at the bottom.
Amen to that. And so how can people watch? Do people have to be on Clubhouse to watch? How can people access the production? Production opens this Friday, Saturday. It opens this weekend, the 13th and the 14th.
And so on our link tree it's linktree / the Wiz CH, linktree / the Wiz CH. Only thing they have to do is click on the show that they want to go to, and it will send them directly to a link that will guide them to the live stream. The live stream is going to start for the A show. For Friday, it's going to actually start at 7:00. Now, the show is pre-recorded, but it will stream like it's live, of course. And then also, for the Saturday show, it will stream at 7:00. So everyone knows that their first show is at 4:00, which means that's the debut show. So we're not gonna stream the live cast on the debut at the debut time, but at the 7:00 show, they will still be live in full color on Clubhouse, but their live stream will also be going at 7:00 on the dot, so that people can actually watch the full show.
Long term, this is something I've been wondering since the when virtual theater started. There is nothing more that made me cringe. I will say this: theater is my sanctuary. It is my church. Going to a live production, that is where I meditate. That is where I learn. That is where I reflect. That is my sanctuary. And the people who know me know that's how I feel about theater. That's why I miss it so much. So when virtual productions started in their infancy, I didn't love it. It didn't do the same thing for me. I'd hear my laundry machine going off. My kids would be screaming. It just didn't do the same thing for me that the live performance did. It's growing on me because I miss theater so much. I will watch anything at this point. I'm like, I just miss it so much. But do you think these kinds of virtual productions that we've seen so much of in the last year, do you think that these help or hurt live performance when we finally get back to it?
It can only help. Here's why. It's because if you are a thespian or a singer or actor or just any type of artist, it's not about the end goal, right? So the end goal is always to be on a stage. It's always about being in the energy of what's happening in the current. And so here's the idea is that if I'm able to continue to hone my skills, even while I'm at home, it still puts me in the mind of theater because I still have to come to rehearsal. I still have to practice my music. I still have to interact with my castmates. I still have to be accountable to the production crew. And so the thing is, it's just a different form, but yes, it is still theater. Now, will it replace theater? I just think it's a different form. And so even as the world opens back up, people are going to have their preferences. There are going to be people who are ready to go back into the world and actually be in a physical element of a theater and watch a show, maybe 6 feet apart from their family, right? 6 chairs apart, but just the fact of being in the building is just that's what's going to do it for them. There's going to be a whole nother group of people who are absolutely afraid to go out of their homes. And they are still going to need theater. They're still going to need to be able to plug in to the arts and music and shows. And so what's happening is there's a double baby happening. There is this actually twins, the birth of 2 twins, right? The birth of understanding what theater looks like digitally, and still the older child, let's say the first twin, of theater going back to its original form, but how it's going to go back, right? Because in Broadway you may now go to a Broadway show where the entire stage is encased in hard plastic, where you can't physically be at the stage and seeing the person on, so everything is going to be made new. Everything is going to be made new.
John, I feel like you have something to add to this. He looks like he's just ready.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with what Sharita said. In addition to, if we look at every industry that has revolutionized or has evolved, right? Everything from, Blockbuster once was a thing, to where we went and actually grabbed a physical copy of our favorite movie on VHS and brought it back home. And then this revolutionary thing called Netflix came around, right? And now there's no VHS in sight, right? And I think that's primarily due to the fact that the industry didn't evolve and didn't adapt to the changing of the times. And so with theater, I do believe that having these types of productions and adding a different type of platform will only enhance that already thriving industry, being theater, and also opens it up to the rest of the world. So the people that are across the world, 10,000 miles away, don't have to worry about going to New York to, going to Broadway or coming to the US to experience a production like this. They can simply go onto an app and hear some incredible brand new voices. And, we open up the show by saying, yes, this is adapted from something you're familiar with, but it's on an audio platform. We're going to, kind of have like a few little twists and revitalize it. So it's a new experience that is still familiar to you, and I feel as though that every industry that adapts with those times only sees more success. And, it goes back to everything that's been said. It's brand new voices, brand new faces, and just, a new time, something that we as Black people have always been forced to do. We've always been forced to adapt with a society that never included us, and had to tell our story and had to include everything else. And that's a global, it's a global phenomenon. That's something that everybody around the world can relate to. They're just looking to gain that access. And I feel as though that something as simple as a collection of voices and this production can provide that for the whole world.
Yasra, maybe you could speak to this, or at least, back me up on this. We have the National Black Theater Festival here in North Carolina. That's going to happen in August this year. I feel like we need the Wiz on stage at the National Black Theater Festival. So I'm just
that being
that out.
Bring us. We'll come.
Wouldn't that be incredible? I actually missed the Black Theater Festival. I was a regular for years, and I was supposed to perform at the Black Theater Festival, but I was 9 months pregnant at the time. Was the last time I was able to actually go, and they didn't have the insurance. They didn't want my water to break on stage. But one thing that I also want to dovetail with John on is that this is an opportunity. It's the birth child. Urgency is the birth child of ingenuity. In the Great Depression, they started doing these radio shows, and we forget that our parents had to just sit back and imagine dark shadows. Imagine what the vampires looked like. Imagine what their favorite action heroes were looking like. And so often we get all tied up in our technology, and it's killed imagination. The thing that actually births new ideas, that births new theater, is from this thing that happens inside of our domes right here. And having an opportunity for other folks to be able to listen and to paint their own picture is going to be incredible. And of course, you tell me where to stand, I'll be at the Black Theater Festival, and I know my castmates would absolutely love it. It is the theater party of the year every time they have it.
It is. I went for the first time 2 summers ago, and I had such a fantastic time. I can't wait to go back this summer. I hope they're planning it, so I hope to be there.
Its inception was actually out of Black necessity, Black ingenuity. We needed space. We needed to have a seat at the table, and their founder, who also has actually a building here, Black Theater Company here, they did a production of "Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope," and they spun that into the festival. All this amazing Black theater that created the Wiz, and even some people that I've even met at the Black Theater Festival have done amazing productions of the Wiz that I've had a chance to see. I actually had a chance to take my son 2 years ago to see a production of the Wiz. And it's great to be able to just create this music and this magic again for others to be able to paint the pictures.
And for the young people to take ownership, the young people like Brandon, this now becomes his Wiz. And that's so beautiful to me.
He's an awesome Scarecrow. And if I may say, the level of work and professionalism that he has put into his role. I mean, we all got together at some point, and we even did some recording. I just happened to be in Atlanta, and being able to actually be in the room with some of my castmates and to share that energy together is really incredible. And it says a lot about the professionalism, but also the craft here, and that even though we're not in the same rooms touching each other, it still feels like I'm feeling the energy of Demo, of Jason, of Brandon, of Dee. Every time we're in the room together, I feel like I'm sitting with my good friends, and I think that comes across in how we are doing this production. We can't lean on the energy that you get in the same room with one another, but I promise you, the same energy that you would get if you were is present, even more so because we have to really just channel the love into the work.
Sharita, Dee alluded to something at the beginning. So are we going to see, do you have any exclusives for me? Are we going to see this anywhere else on any other platforms?
Yes. So again, people can be able to click into the live stream for Friday and Saturday, so they'll be able to see a visual version. If you're not on Clubhouse, you're not excluded. So Friday night, gather your family, gather your friends, grab a glass of wine, some popcorn, click into the live stream. It's just $7. All of those proceeds go to the cast. So it's just basically you support another thespian, and click in and you just pop it in and watch the show. We are going to transport you to Oz. And if you don't know what our actual live broadcasts look like, definitely check out our benefit concert and be able to on YouTube as well under the Wiz CH. And you'll get a little bit of a preview of what we're going to deliver. It's going to be a little bit, it's going to be magical.
Sharita, any other Clubhouse musicals in the works for you and your sister?
Well, I can say this because this actually happened. So someone approached Talia about two specific type of musicals. One being the Whitney Houston story. They want her to do the Whitney Houston story, and they also want her to do School Days.
So we'll have to keep an eye out, and I hope you guys will come back when you do these.
I think I froze out, Devo. You okay, Devo?
Mind blown.
Yeah. Some big end producers came to her and said they would completely back the project for her if she did it, but they want only her to do it. So,
well, March 13th, March 14th.
No, the 12th and the 13th.
The 12th and the 13th.
Friday and Saturday. Yep.
Please visit the website. Check out the link on the bottom of your screen. Learn more about these amazing artists. And Yasra, you have an album out, correct?
I do. I just put out my first record in 10 years. My last project, The Ballad of Miss Purple St. James, was considered for a Grammy in 6 categories. And then I had my son and kind of just threw myself into my baby for some years and did some background for Lenny Kravitz, Elvis Costello, Madonna. And finally, I put out my baby, The Ceremony. And, it's a record that I made reclaiming pieces of myself that I gave away to others for many, many years. And so I call it my record of anthems for other people to reclaim themselves too, like I had to go and get myself. So I appreciate that. And if you don't mind, I'd like to give you a taste of something vocally that you can hear on the Wiz, just so people understand what they're about to get into and have reason to come see us. Okay, so and I'm gonna sing it to my lion because this is our song, baby. There is a place to go where there is mostly quiet. Rainbows and butterflies, a river lives beside it. And with the velvet sky, a silver storm, you can feel the mist in the air, but you're still warm. And I'm gonna fast forward. And with no need to run, no need to fear, no need to hide, you're standing strong and tall. You're the greatest of them all. And if I'm kind, you must call. Just keep on trying and trying and trying. You're a lion in your own way. Be a lion. Come see us.
Beautiful.
Yes. Thank you so much, Yasra. That was beautiful. You have filled my cup up for the rest of the night. And probably the rest of the week at this point.
Wait
now I'm
till,
gonna
wait till Friday, honey. We'll fill you all the way up.
Yes. Well, please, everyone, watch this brilliant new production of The Wiz. I can't wait. I will be there with my family, and even if they're not there, I'll be there cheering you on. And thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. You've all been lovely. I feel like this is just the beginning. We will see each other again. So thank you, everyone. Tune in. Thank you, Sharita, and please thank your sister for putting this all together for me at the last minute.
No, absolutely. Thank you for your platform and being able to give us a voice. Thank you.
Anytime. Keep me posted. And everyone come back Wednesday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. I will be with my friend Andrea from Coloring Broadway. We'll be doing some mindfulness and coloring together on Zoom. It's a free event, so come and join us and hang out with us. We'll be coloring some In the Heights inspired pages that she's created. So I'm very excited about that. Sharita, In the Heights, that would be another good one.
Well, In the Heights, they've already done it. They just had In the Heights CH last weekend. So yeah.
All right. Well, there's enough. There's enough of a catalog to pick from. Thank you all so much. And if you tuned in late, you can see this conversation in its entirety from the beginning, right here on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube, and on our website. Break legs to all of you. I hope it's a fabulous, successful production, and I hope to see more productions like this. So thank you, and y'all stay safe and healthy. And Yandra, when you come back to the Black Twitter Festival, let me know. We'll hook up.
Next time I'm in Durham, I'm taking you to lunch because we have much theater to talk about, Lauren.
I would love that, and I have so many friends at Central, so I'm so excited to have you on this platform. Thank you all. Stay safe and healthy, and I will see you all this weekend, or hear you all this weekend.
Bye.